science team talking. We are very, very glad you're here with us. We will give everybody maybe 1 more minute to settle down, and then we'll officially begin.
Okay.
We already have Dzień dobry from Róża Tomikowska. This is Róża Tomikowska is mom of Nina, right? Super. We have fingers crossed emoji from Mrs. Paulina Białek. Oh, Marysia's mom. Of course, everyone is encouraged to already think about questions or comments they would like to share with us. Okay. Science team, are you ready?
Yes.
Please introduce yourselves.
Okay, so I'm Katarzyna Drobniska, and I inquired into bacteria.
I am Maria Owniczak, and I inquired into vaccines.
I am Nina Tomikowska, and I inquired into space and astronomy.
I am Marta Zyniuk, and I inquired into chemistry.
I'm James O'Byrne, and I inquired into galaxies, black holes, and white holes.
All right. Before we remind everyone about our central idea, lines of inquiry, we have more comments from Ms. Anna O'Byrne, so James's mom. Hello. She says good luck. We have even Mrs. Monika Modystak with us. Do you remember her? Yes. Then we have Ms. Małgorzata Pyda. Hello, my team. Why? Because
Hello.
Ms. Małgorzata Pyda is our science team mentor. All right, so let's say our central idea, lines of inquiry, and transdisciplinary theme.
Okay, so our transdisciplinary theme is how the world works.
Our central idea is how science influences the world in different ways and how it has evolved over time. So the lines of inquiry and key concept, function, the role of science,
And connection, the influence of science on people's lives.
Change the development of science throughout the years.
Super. All right. Are you ready for the first question that we got?
Yes.
Straight off the research part, and I think this is a question from for Marysia. How would the world look right now without the polio vaccine? Would it be any different?
So the polio is now mostly in Africa, as the vaccines really helped. A lot of people died because of this disease, and now less people are getting vaccinated for it, so more of them are getting the disease back. And it's like this in Africa.
All right. So, would you elaborate on the importance of vaccines, maybe?
For me, vaccines are really important because of how many diseases there are. They change the world a lot, and some countries don't have vaccines, so many, because they're super expensive in some cases. But they're really important for our health, and often when we are just born, we get some different types of vaccines. So it's very important for us to get them.
All right, thank you so much for this answer. We have more good lucks from some teachers, from I think parents, from Mrs. Małgorzata Kuźlan as well, and we have a question from Udaf, from our class, from G5. What is the most dangerous bacteria? Who would like to answer that question and who knows?
So I inquired into bacteria, and for me the most what I know bacteria is brain eating,
as it's stuck in your head and it's eating some parts of your brain.
Oh my. That sounds
And for
dangerous.
now, we don't have any medicine for that.
All right, scary stuff. There is a question from Stasio from G5. Did you manage to do everything that you planned? Like, how were your plans before? Did you manage with everything, with time and organization?
Before we build the stands, I thought we will have not many posters and we will not manage. Now when we were building the posters, I thought we will we have not a lot of space. But now I think it's good.
I think that we're pretty organized and we planned most of the things, so I think it turned out pretty good. And I really like how our stand looks and all the posters that we made.
I think that because some of the things that I was supposed to make, I changed them into smaller posters instead of the huge ones. But I think now that we put it all in a stand, it looks really good.
I think I've done everything that I planned. Yeah, I wanted this and this, and I actually made it because I was sick for 1 week, so I couldn't make much, so I had to do double the work. But I managed.
I managed to do everything, even the posters. I was also 1 week sick like Marcel, so I made some work on my research.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's unexpected, right? The process of exhibition. We never know what may happen. Okay. Next question is from your mentor, Ms. Małgorzata. Hello.
Hello.
And she asks for your opinion. How science will influence the world in the future? What do you think?
I don't know how it will influence, but I think it will influence, I don't have any ideas how it will influence.
Right. It will change for sure.
Science already influences us now, so maybe in the future it will even influence us even more.
Because science has a lot of different types of parts in science. So I think maybe because now science really influences us, but I think later when it comes to space, bacteria, vaccines, it will influence a lot more because there could be new things happening in space. We could find out something new, that we're in danger or something like that.
I think that science will change a lot as there are more diseases, there are going to be new vaccines, and I think that they will find new bacteria, so I think that it will change over time. And also in space, that I think they're going to find a new star or a new planet one day.
As Mary said, I think the same as it's now changing and it will for a long time change.
Thank you. Really nice answers. We have another question that concerns galaxies. So maybe James will be able to answer. The question is from Mrs. Anna O'Byrne. So what is the shape of our galaxy?
The shape of our galaxy type is a spiral shape. So our shape would be a spiral, so going in circles.
So what are other shapes of galaxies?
The other shapes, there are football-shaped, disc-shaped, spiral-shaped like our galaxy. Then we have elliptical, peculiar, and irregular.
All right, thank you so much. Another question is from Marysia from G5A. How many good bacteria are in our body? Who is that question for?
So there are many of them. There are several
Overall?
Yes. But also the good bacteria produce a lot of vitamins. Like also a lot.
What do these good bacteria help us with?
For example, digesting food.
Oh, digestion. All right.
Yes. Also, some bacteria can keep us healthy. Also, when we eat healthy things, it also the good bacteria are inside us.
Thank you. Okay. Now I think question for everybody. What was the best part for you in exhibition? Like throughout the whole process, from the very beginning to this time right now.
I think when we started to present our posters, so we can share our knowledge with our parents.
So the final gala when it came to the parents' visit, yes?
Yes.
Because I don't know if everybody knows, but we were visited by the parents in the morning. The students could share the knowledge with them, and now we are having the Q&A for the entire ISAP community and others guests, right?
For me, everything was great. I really like when we met each other because I didn't know like some things about each other, and we could like know what we like, what we are good at, and also I think when our parents came and building the whole stand because we could learn how to be organized, and I really just like doing it with my group.
I think that, both Kasia and Marysia said, when our parents came, because then we could share everything that we have done throughout the 7 weeks, and we could just show our hard work and show our knowledge to our parents, and also not only our parents, to other people's parents too.
For me, this week is my favorite week in exhibition because I couldn't just wait to build the stand and present it to my parents, and maybe later the other classes.
I have a couple of favorite things like last week and this week. So last week we were finishing our posters, and this week we were building the stands and presenting to our parents, and I really liked when I was presenting to my own parents and creating the posters.
Super. Thank you so much for sharing. That question was from Hela from G5. And now a question from Julia. She would like to know, what is the most dangerous black hole?
Oh, so I haven't inquired to that, but I think it's the stellar black hole, because stellar black holes, they just stretch your body and they suck you in.
All right. A question from Mr. Bartek Jadziński. All right. He would like to know what ATL skills you used during your PYP exhibition. What skills you used that we all try to develop here during our PYP program?
I think creativity skills and communication skills.
For sure, also the thinking skills, and also because we had to inquire into a lot of things. And I think we actually used all of them in our exhibition time.
Right? That's true.
I think we used all of them, but I think mostly communication, because we had to plan everything. We had to talk to our group and make sure that everybody's happy with what we came up with and that everybody agrees.
For me, thinking skills and also communication skills, as we needed to organize ourselves and we needed to think about others' opinion and communicate how can we make some things better.
For me, research skills, as we, for the 7 weeks, mostly we do research, and also communication skills that help our mentor, so thank you for that, and our teachers.
Very nice. Okay. This question may be difficult, but maybe not, because I'm not an expert in your scientific unit. This is a question from Mr. Sharma. How do we measure space, and are time and space related?
I'm not sure how to answer that question because I didn't inquire into that topic. But
This particular issue, yeah?
Yeah.
Anybody else is able to answer that?
I think I've heard about time and space. I think I heard this question, but I have another thing.
Okay, so this is something that we may explore even after exhibition, right? Even after our research. Thank you so much for our recommendation and for an additional issue to inquire into, Mr. Sharma. Another question from our G5 student. We had a favorite. Now, what was your least favorite part of exhibition? Was there anything that you did not like?
My least favorite part of exhibition, I think it was the ad because we had to do it a couple of times. We messed up a little, and and it was past lunchtime. And I think that's the only thing.
Very hard work with an ad.
For sure, the weeks, the first weeks and the weeks in the middle, because it was kind of the hardest. But after we get used to it, it's getting a lot easier.
Thank you.
I think like James that the ad, but then also the conflicts, because we had, like, I wouldn't say like a ton of conflict, but sometimes we just couldn't agree.
So basically, like, teamwork sometimes is a challenging part, yeah? For sure.
Yeah, for me also the ad, because it took us a lot of time and we also didn't really agree with each other sometimes, and also our conflicts, because they took a little bit of our time that we can do other things. But at the end we were pretty happy with the finishing product, so it was okay.
For me, the ad was pretty hard, as everyone said. Also, I knew it would be hard work in the first weeks, but I think it will. I expected a little bit
Less or more?
more.
Oh yeah, so it would be harder, you thought?
Yes.
All right,
And
nice.
about the conflict, some of our teachers, like Miss Kasia or Miss Natalia, they said that we can solve it different way than arguing.
There are different ways of solving problems, that's true. Hopefully, this knowledge and this experience will help you in the future, right?
Yes.
With dealing with conflicts. Super. We have some questions from Ms. Kasia Jadzinska from G2A, and actually from her students. Gabi would like to know more about the white holes, what they are, and how they are different from black holes. Maybe it was a new concept for some.
Okay, so about white holes, they are the exact opposite of a black hole, but it's a theory. So white holes, we can say that it's a twin of a black hole. So instead of pulling in objects like black holes and eating them, whenever an object comes, they just push it away, like they reject it.
I would also like to add that it's not known if it actually is true. Some people who think it's true maybe say that it's in another universe or somewhere in space that is really far away, or some may think that it's a star, but it actually is a white hole.
So white hole is a hypothesis? Yeah? It's a theory, or?
It's a theory. So it's Einstein's theory. So he says that they exist, but we still didn't explore one. But we also think that a white hole is born when a black hole dies.
Interesting. All right. Definitely a lot to learn from the posters that the group prepared, right? Super. Okay, and I think a question from your dad, James. Are there any black holes near us?
I think there is a black hole near us. We don't know actually. Sometimes scientists discover black holes. I think the closest one is Sagittarius A, which is 27,000 light years away from Earth. I think that's the black hole which is near us.
Super. And definitely we can learn more from your posters, right? Super. We are getting a lot of really scientific questions, so brace yourselves, guys. We have a question from Severin from G2A. How many good and bad bacteria do we have in our bodies? Can we even measure that?
To this, we cannot measure that as we produced the good bacteria every day. About the bad bacteria, we have some bad bacteria, but we don't really know when or where do we get them.
Awesome. And an additional question about bacteria. Is there any difference between human and animal bacteria?
I didn't really inquire into that, but yes, they are.
Probably yes. So even more knowledge to come. Super. We have a question from Tanya, I think. Why is the Earth a sphere? Is there any reasons for planets to be spheres?
I did also not inquire into that topic.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's a sphere, but every planet we know is a sphere. So we don't know if planets is a perfect sphere like our sun, because our sun is not a perfect sphere. When somebody looks at the sun, they say that it's a perfect sphere, but some people don't see that it's a perfect sphere.
Okay.
I also want to add, Earth is not round like a sphere, but it's more like the terrain is like mountains or ravines. So it's not really a sphere shaped, but because of the water that covers the indents, it looks like a sphere. And
does it look like that? Like a perfect globe?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marcel, for that.
So people would say that it's a perfect sphere, but if you look at the globe, each astronomer goes into space to explore the moon, but what they look at behind, they see our planet, the Earth, and they say it's a perfect sphere. So also some people who don't know about space, like in the old times, I don't remember the name, like in the Roman Empire, I think, somewhere there, say that the Earth is flat.
Oh, right.
And now we say that the Earth is a sphere, and some people say it's not a perfect sphere.
All right. Thank you.
Because in my research, I have a small poster about important facts about planets and the sun. And there is that the sun is almost a perfect sphere, but the explosions, like when you look like far from a planet, then you don't see the perfect surface of it. But when you look closely, then you see all the mountains. So if there are all the mountains, it can't be a perfect sphere.
True. Yeah. Kasia?
So I also want to say, on our stand, Mary made a solar system, so we can also see.
Yeah, exactly. Like a very nice model. Yeah? Okay. We have a question from Udaf, and maybe Marcel will be able to answer that. How does the periodic table help us in our lives? Does it even help us? Is it useless? Is it useful?
It's very useful in chemistry because it tells us many things about the atoms, like its atomic mass, you could say it's just mass, but to be unique, it's atomic mass, because mass is mostly big, like very big, and atomic mass is like small. Yeah.
Do you know why we should know that?
Because chemists explore chemistry and deeply inquire also like us into chemistry to discover new things about chemistry, and it's very useful to know things about it, because maybe some chemists can see the difference between two things and maybe discover something. Also, the periodic table is used also to know how many atoms are there and what are the names, and things like that.
We'll definitely explore that more in high school and middle school, right? Super. For sure, right? Question from Mrs. Róża Tomikowska. What are the biggest differences between stars and planets?
Because for first, stars shine and planets don't. Because stars stars die. Like when we had Miss Milena Ratajczak was our guest speaker, and she said that the sun in millions or billions of years, it will turn into a red giant, and then it will explode, and that all the planets will be destroyed too. But like stars, because they slowly run out of gas, and that's when they stop shining and they turn into something, like sometimes into a black hole.
Also, I can tell the difference between stars and planets. So, it's about the gas inside the stars. Because the first four planets, like Mercury to Mars, I think I don't know the name of our section. I think it's the rock. I think the rock planets, and the furthermore planets are gas giants. So they don't have any rocks or something. But also stars have our star is a yellow star, which I don't have to say this, but it's like it's between hot and cold. The only difference is between the mass, I think.
Thank you.
Because the difference between a star and also a gas giant is that the star is more massive and also has nuclear fusions inside it. That's why it's so hot. Because also it's made of hydrogen gas, and like for example Jupiter maybe has also other gases. We don't know. We didn't. I mean.
Maybe, right? We would have to check that. All right.
Because humans didn't discover it yet. We don't know about it. And the stars die because the nuclear fusions turn the lighter atoms, like, hydrogen, which I just said about, into helium, and that into other things, and then it turns lastly into iron, and then it collapses or explodes because of its mass.
Thank you, Marta.
Also, I can add a fun fact that because normally, like when you go to the bathroom and there's the sink, so red represents hot and blue represents cold. But when it comes to stars, blue stars are hotter than red stars.
That's a very interesting fact. Thank you for sharing
It
that.
was also from Ms. Milena Ratajczak.
From Ms. Milena. Really nice. We have an excellent, in my opinion, question from Clara, from Mrs. Marta Matuszewska's class. She wants to know, do you think technology helps science improve?
I think yes. Science always don't do, for example, the experiments in hands, also in for example, computers or different programs.
Super.
I agree with Kasia, and also technology kind of changed our lives, as there is also technology in space, and it maybe even helps. It like helps in finding bacteria and making new vaccines.
I want to add, for example, if we didn't have technology, now we will not be here and not inquire into our topics.
Exactly. Technology helps us everywhere, right?
Because also when the technology helped make better rockets, so it's safer to travel to space. Because if a few thousand years ago, let's say, I don't know when at the exact time, but the dogs were first sent to space, and they died, and it was a pretty sad story, because there was a dog named Laika, and the president that was at that time, he knew that the dogs were gonna die, but he still sent them to space. So now their particles are all around space somewhere.
All right. Like experimenting and sending animals to space. Right now, we don't have to do that anymore, right?
Because technology and more into it, like computers are like superhumans, but without self-awareness or consciousness.
Really good point.
They don't think for themselves like humans do or animals, and we can control the computers by typing the keyboard. And for example, if you ask a human what is 9 times 9, it will take them a while probably to answer 81. But a computer, if you type 9 times 9 into it, it will automatically say 81.
Computers are faster, more efficient sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and because of that, it's also in other things helpful more. It can find things like radar, and it could double the speed of a human that will do things. So, for example, if someone wanted to know if there's something somewhere, it could ask the computer and it will do for it. And if the human does that, it will take a lot of time to find it.
And I have one item. So if we didn't know anything about science, then we wouldn't have technology. And if we didn't have technology, then there would be no hospitals, and we couldn't even cure anybody.
Mhm. Really good point.
So if we didn't know anything about science, then the houses and schools and
Many areas of our lives, right,
Yeah.
would lack things. All right. Nina, would you like to add something?
Yes, because also satellites, you have your phone, so to use your phone, you need a satellite. But satellites are also created using technology.
For sure. All right.
So
Kasia?
technology also kind of joins to everything.
Sure.
And science was also developed of technology as 50%.
It's part of science, right?
Yes.
Mhm. Super. A question from Mrs. Małgorzata Drobczyńska. My question to science team. Is it possible to live without the bad bacteria? Or are they necessary?
I don't really know, but I think sometimes they're necessary yes.
Let's think about maybe immunity and the diseases and how
Yes,
we deal with them.
but to bacteria, I read that your immune system will never be used to them.
Ah, okay.
But to viruses, yes.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Victoria is asking what is the most common bacteria. Is it possible to say?
Most common bacteria.
Maybe we can check it out on your poster.
Yes,
downstairs.
I think you can go to our stand.
For sure. All right. Another excellent question from Mrs. Marta Matuszewska's class. Do you think humans should move to a different planet, or should they work on saving the Earth more? Should we save this planet or just move out?
I think we should save the planet to be more eco-friendly. As for example, we leave this planet, we go to Mars, we will do the same and come back on Earth. The planet will be ruined.
For me, I think that we should take care of our planet first and not try to live on any other before we kind of get rid of all the bad things that we created to this planet, as there's a lot of trash and bad things that humans made, and it would take millions of years for it just to kind of repair.
I think that because for now, I think we should stay on Earth and we should try as much as we can to repair it, make it maybe not perfectly as it was, but stop like using plastic, putting trash in the ocean, be more eco-friendly. But also, because as I said, Ms. Mirena Ratajek said that the sun will explode and all the planets will die. So then I think we should slowly start working on how to move out of Earth. So like when it will be like a few hundred years until the sun will explode, then we could move out of Earth. Because I think like first we should save this planet because we have a lot of time left.
And it is possible to save it, right? It's not beyond saving yet. So
Yes,
we should all try to...
I think like if we don't start now, it will be too late because like there's like a Mr. Beast also. He has like this program with a few YouTubers. It's Save the Sea, and every $1 you send there, it's 1 pound of trash out of the sea.
Interesting.
As now I remember to Vicky's question. I think the most common is the yellow, friendly yellow that is in your belly. And it helps you to digest food.
Super. Thanks.
Also, to saving Earth, I also think that we should save Earth because it will be like 1 billion years, even more, till the sun explodes, and we have a lot of time. And we already, like, this planet feels very good for us because we have been here for many years, decades here, centuries, millenniums.
True.
Here, so it feels like home.
It is our home, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Marta. James, would you like to add something?
So some scientists think about going to Mars. We sent a few rovers there, and people think that we might live there. But if we would live there, all of the people would get out of Earth and go to Mars. But there's a couple of problems, because we heard that dogs died when going to space. What about the dogs that are here at Earth, and what about
us here at Earth, right?
Yeah. What about the other animals here? They would just come into our homes and invade everything and break everything until everything will turn into a forest when we come back.
Definitely a lot of things to consider.
I think also because a lot of species will extinct if we simply change the planet now. And also on Earth there are nearly perfect temperature for us. It's not too hot, not too cold for us, because like on other planets something bad could happen to our bodies. And also because Earth is kind of like, if we don't fix Earth first, fix all of our problems like plastic and all that stuff, then we can destroy Mars also.
So I also remembered that I talked to my friend Hubert, and he said that on Mars scientists are working on it, but there can be even like a different lifestyle over there that we can also discover.
Right, and we have an additional question from Mr. O'Byrne that actually kind of is connected to this question. Are there any other planets that we can actually live on? If we're thinking about not saving this one and going somewhere else, are there any planets that are possible to live on?
Because Mars, as we said, I think, but because I was also, it wasn't from my research from the exhibition, but before, when I was like 6, I remember that I was searching something about what planets we could live on, and there was that like Mars is like the closest to the kind of lifestyle on Earth. So like maybe if our bodies got changed a lot, then we could live on another planet. But for now, we can't.
Also, because before, when James was talking about Mars, also Mars has a problem because it doesn't have as thick as atmosphere at Earth, so there's a lot of solar radiation. All of the things like gamma ray explosions and nebulas and stuff like that in outer space, radiation will hit Mars, and also the sun radiation causes Mars to be uninhabitable because there's so much radiation. You would have had to live underground in Mars, but still it will still there will be a lot of radiation.
All right, thank you. Maybe James now, because unfortunately we are almost done. Yes, can you imagine?
Okay, so there's also one item that I can fit into this. So we might live on exoplanets if some scientists would launch a rocket into space with a camera, so we can see planets. But there's also a problem, because we have to make sure that there's a right star, the right planet, the right temperature, and it has to be habitable.
All right.
Because if we find any exoplanet on other stars, I mean in other solar systems, then we still would have to get a rocket to fly there, which normal rockets have a lot of fuel and a lot of mass, which is just enough so we can land on the moon or orbit the Earth and come back. Just enough, always. And
So it is a very, very hard endeavor for sure, right?
Yes.
We need to kind of speed up, and I think in the end I'm going to connect 2 last questions. So we are very sorry if we cannot answer all the questions. They are all excellent, but we need to move on.
Okay, because also just a quick thing, because exoplanets, it would take us a long time to find them, and then we would have to find we would have to build for a lot of years the perfect rocket to fit all the people, because
or many rockets.
Yes, because there could be many rockets, but it would be really hard to like organize it and make sure nothing happens to any rocket because we don't want anyone to die in the process.
Such a difficult concept.
Also, because if there will be many more rockets than only one rocket, it will cost a lot of money.
Many hypotheticals. Okay, let's move on. Two last questions that I will combine. It's from Mrs. Anna Auburn and Dominika from G4. The first question is, how do you feel in the end of the exhibition? Are you satisfied with your results? And then, question from Dominika, is there anything that you would like to, that if you had a chance, would you like to do differently?
Can you say my mom's question again? Because I forgot.
Are you satisfied with your exhibition in the end?
I think I'm satisfied because I can't believe that I made it to the end of PYP, to the exhibition, from learning from G1 to learning to G5, creating posters, researching a lot, and sharing information with the school.
Would you do anything differently?
I don't know.
You're satisfied. Perfect.
I am for sure satisfied because I managed to do everything that I really wanted. And yeah, everything is coming along really well at the end now.
Super.
So
I'm so glad to hear it too.
Anything will go wrong, and I hope that I'll be. I really want to be have a job as a scientist, engineer, chemical engineer job, and I really want to help the humanity to build rockets and also explore outer space and also explore chemistry more.
Wow, great answer, Matzo. I'm so happy to hear it again. I need to say that.
I am satisfied. If I would like have a chance to change something, I think I would focus more on the main research than like sides things like stars and things like that.
Interesting. Okay.
I am really satisfied, and I'm very happy with kind of that I picked vaccines to be my topic, and I wouldn't change anything. I think I am like perfectly fine with everything. I really like our stand, and my whole group was very nice to me the whole process, and just the topic vaccines. I'm kind of like very thankful for my mom because she kind of got me into medicine and like stuff. So I kind of picked this topic because I was starting to get interested from my mom talking about it.
Super.
I will not change anything, and also thank you to my mom and Happy Mother's Day.
Exactly. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the
You
moms.
are the expert of bacteria, and you got the same as Mary into it. Me.
That's so cute. Everyone, great job. Are there any like really last comments to add?
Say how I got into chemistry.
Okay.
Because when I was I think almost 10 years old, I was really into one book that I read about science, and I read about the pH levels per of hydrogen, the acids and bases, and that got me into chemistry, which I then really liked about, because it was everything scientific that I liked, a lot of things connected to technology too, because it explains why. And I really want to know why everything happens.
Exactly.
Like it
I
does.
think that's science, yes? We want to keep exploring and to know why, and unfortunately, we need to finish. One last comment?
Yes. Because also I want to say how I got into space things and like that, because when I was around 6 years old, I had like this, we were supposed to bring a book to school. That was our favorite book. But I didn't really have a favorite book because I didn't read a lot. But I found, I remembered that we were reading like this book about space at school, and it was from the library. And I found out that I had it at home, and I knew that I really liked it, and I was really curious, like, about space, because it was about planets, stars, and it was, like, pretty long for me then, because I was pretty young. But I really liked it, and I started to slowly learn more, and we had the unit also about space.
So you got inspired by school.
I also got like into astronomy. Also, yeah. Like when I was 6 or something, when it was G3, I think.
Last comment.
Okay, so my comment used to be that my dream job used to be an astronomer, because my dad bought me a pop-up book. I came from Ireland, and I was reading it. Then I got another book from the school, and I changed my mind to be an engineer.
Super. So books inspire for sure.
And I also want to say that I'm very thankful for the teachers and all the help, and to our mentor, Ms. Małgorzata Pyda. So we are very thankful for all the help. And we just want to say Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day!
And congratulations, science team. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye!
Ended.